Hey guys, welcome back. It's Andrew Fomtavong. Thank you for tuning into my channel once again. I have another video for you guys, and today's video comes from a question asked by Morgan Walls, another person from Cardone Canada, huge influence. I believe he's the director of sales, but he keeps moving up. He keeps 10xing, as they say. So the question is the 3 biggest mistakes I've made and how I overcame them, or what I sort of learned from them. Let's jump into it. Number 1, biggest mistake I've made and what I learned from it or how I overcame it was not sharing my story. And I say this because, not because my story is amazing, but I say this because so many people could probably relate to some of the struggles and some of the issues that I've gone through in my life, from things like depression and weight and self-confidence, but also just race issues and different stereotyping things that I've sort of gone through, different jobs. You know, I will put another video together that will share more of my story, but the biggest thing that I learned from not sharing my story is that I could be helping people while I sleep. You know, people talk, big entrepreneurs or big, investors talk about the money that they make in their sleep. One of my biggest goals, and I feel like part of what my purpose is about impacting people and helping them. Instead of me just in a boardroom or training my team or trying to teach people how to make a livelihood, I could have been doing this in my sleep. Part of the reason why I'm in front of you guys today, but I also want to ensure that my story gets out there so that people can sort of avoid some of those same mistakes. Like a lot of my successes came from recognizing some of the people before me and their mistakes and their challenges and how I could sort of either sidestep them or overcome them and hit them sort of straight on. And what I learned is I'd never really sidestepped many things. I kind of hit the hardest things head on, and I wanted to deal with the hardest things dead on, and I felt like that really helped with my success. So once the video is done, I will attach it below to tell you a little bit more, or if not, my entire story, because I think it will be, 1, something you guys can relate to, 2, give you the true understanding of some of the craziness that I had to overcome just to be sitting in front of you, but 3, there's just a ton of people I'd really like to acknowledge for helping me get to this point, because it definitely doesn't happen just by myself. So stay tuned. Number 2, biggest mistake that I've made and how I learned, or what I learned from it and how I overcame it, is only focusing on money. Yes, I said it. This may be a business channel or this may be some sort of development channel, but money is not everything. And I didn't just say that after I made a ton of money. I learned that through time by watching people who made a lot of money. Many of the people who are extremely rich, of course, and have it all, are generally only left with that. And one thing I've sort of always lived by, or at least something that I've put into my mind recently, is you will get and be left with everything in which you are chasing. So if somebody is only chasing a title, that may be all that you're left with. If you're only chasing money, that may be all that you're left with. If you're chasing love, something great that you should be left with, that's what you'll be left with. So when I learned that money, in a sense, wasn't the only thing I should be focused on, of course it's a tool. I call it access. Money gives you access. Money puts you in the right places, puts you with the right people to do great things and make a great impact. But money alone was not something that, of course, made me happy or hugged me at night or whatever it may be. It was just something that I learned through time that would not be the one thing that I wanted to have at the end of my life. Now, how I overcame that is I really took myself out of my comfort zone. I took myself out of basically a certain circle. I actually moved cities to really try to surround myself with some people who appreciated life for what it was, rather than, sort of chasing money and being a part of that rat race. I promise you, I love nice things. I think money is extremely helpful. I need it to feed my family, feed myself, and all of those things are necessary, but it's not the only thing that I should be focused on. It's not the only thing that allows me to wake up and do great things every single day. It's just a part of it. It's just a tool. Just like sales is for business, it's just another tool. Number 3, biggest mistake I've made, how I overcame it or what I learned from it. And for some, this may not be a super big deal, but number 3 is not being engaged. When I first started in this business, I was extremely dedicated and understanding that this was going to be extreme challenges and something that I'd really have to overcome. So I had to learn incremental growth. I had to be extremely patient. And I had to sort of suffer and sacrifice through not having a lot of money, but needing to wake up to work every day, dress proper, act a certain way, be a certain way, learn the language basically of this business. And it definitely wasn't easy, but I also realized that I just still didn't care. Not only was I only focused on money, but I was only focused on what it's gonna look like. Like, hey, I don't have to smell like food when I leave work, or I can dress really nice and be cool. Like I really thought about it in the materialistic type things. But I also understood that I wasn't necessarily engaged in my work. I wasn't necessarily focused on the career, the growth, the understanding of the whole business. And it was detrimental. It took me a little bit longer to get to where I wanted to be. Of course, I'm on the path again today because I've learned to be engaged. It's extremely important. And just to simply be aware and to be present when learning certain things or training certain things. Some people will just go through the motions just to go through the motions. When I first started in the business, I loved training because I thought it made me important. Like, I'm sitting in a meeting all day, I'm relaxed, they gave us free food, I get coffee, they're kind of serving me. I thought it was the coolest thing. But later I learned the more important aspect of that training was the content, how I was being trained, what were the things that they were making me practice, what were the ideas that were being sort of pushed into my head, and that completely changed when, not necessarily even when I got into management, but when I understood what I could actually do in this business, what sort of platform any business allows me to do if I want to impact people, if I want to, of course, make a lot of money, if I want to raise a family. All of these things can sort of be granted to me as long as I work hard, be very, very engaged, and of course, constantly grow. So being engaged was a huge mistake because I kind of left it alone, and my head was in many different places. I was trying to do many different things. I wanted to make music, I wanted to work out, I wanted to build small businesses, I wanted to do startups, I wanted to do all these different things. Now, I'm not against those things. Those aren't bad things. I just wanted to make sure that if I was working on something, my head was clearly there and nowhere else. So if I walked away from there and went to the next project, sure, my mind could be on there. So I could work on 100 different things as long as when I was there, I was present and I was engaged. What I learned, of course, from that and how I sort of overcame that is just, again, certain routine things, just taking the opportunity to listen and really being curious. I got into this business because of the opportunity to grow, of course, earning potential, but also the huge upside of how much I could learn and learning from world-class people, learning from the best. If I have now interest and fallen in love with whatever business I'm a part of or whatever thing I'm doing in front of me, it's much easier to be engaged because it's something that you love. And I think it's Gary Vee who said, I'm 100% paraphrasing, but I think he says, it's not that you're not good, it's just that you're uninspired, or it's not that you're bored, or it's not that I'm not sure what the words are, but truly, if you're not engaged, it's because you don't love what you do. It's just that simple. So love what you do, make sure you find those passions, and if it doesn't pay you in the beginning, so be it. Overcome it. It will eventually come. And as long as you can make your living, then go forth and make your impact. And then, of course, live with purpose. And it will change the way in which you wake up every single day, how you take your meetings, how you speak to people, and what are the things that you care about at the end of the day. There you have it, guys. 3 biggest mistakes, what I learned from them, and how I overcame them. I hope you guys enjoyed that. As I sort of move further into some of these videos, I want to share more about my story, but I also want to share stories of people that I've sort of met on the journey and all the great people who have supported me, all of you guys. So I really thank you for whatever support that you are giving. Please like, subscribe, share, and I appreciate the support. Once again, it's Andrew Fomtawang. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Go be your best and then be better.